Alright, hey there YouTube, Dubs Rider here, and I wanted to shoot a video tonight on the best way to change a windshield. Now I got the Honda manual from, or the service manual from Honda directly, and I think that was like $60, $65, something like that. And if you're looking through that book, it's pretty crazy the amount of steps that they put in there to change the windshield, when I promise you it's a really simple job. You won't have any issues doing it. It's just you're going to have the stomach for it. So I'm going to try to take you through this step by step, kind of let you know the easy way of doing it. I'm going to have you from a couple different angles here, and I might do a shot from just one side, but it's going to be the exact same steps for the other side, or for the other mirror. So yeah, we're going to jump into it, and I'm going to move you to a different shot here. Alright, so welcome back here, guys. I'm going to do from this angle, and I'm going to duplicate the exact same step on the other side of the bike. So you shouldn't have any issues. If you can do it on this side, you should be able to do it on the other side. Now you'll notice that right here is this little vent here, and really they'll have you taking all of this kind of different stuff out, but this outside cover right here that you see on the top around the edges here, this is just a cover for the windshield, or for the mirror here. So really all you have to do, and like I said, you're going to need kind of a strong stomach, but you're just going to need to pull out on that whole unit right there. Down here it tends to catch a little bit, so you need to pull up a little bit, and then you'll hear it kind of pop out, and then that whole unit slides out of there. And if you see it down there, now it's just kind of hanging. Make sure that you do that kind of gently there. That way you don't end up scratching anything on your bike. But if you can see, that whole unit there just kind of slides out. So now I'm going to move you to the other side there. And we'll take a look at what you got to do on the actual bolts for the front cover. So be back in a second. Alright, welcome back here, guys. Now as you can see, you know, there's a couple of different bolts underneath from this side to get to the front cover. Really what you're trying to do is remove this piece right here, which is the front cover of the bike, so that you can get to the bolts that hold the windshield on. And what you're going to need is just a standard needle nose pliers. Isn't too well right there, but standard needle nose pliers. Alright, hey there guys, sorry I got a little interrupted there. But you're going to do the needle nose pliers, which you can kind of see there. I'll move them back so they focus. And then just a standard Phillips head screwdriver. And camera's not going to focus at all there, but really what you're focusing in on are these two little spots right here. And behind there's a screwdriver, or a Phillips head screw that holds these pieces in. Now you'll have this rubber piece that pops off of there. And make sure you keep that, because you'll want to put that back on. You've got one right there, and you've got one right here. And let me move my camera a little bit so you can see where my finger is there. One up here. So, right there. And they're both the same. They've got a little metal wrap around on there. And what you're going to do, I can focus in there a little bit better. Get in there tight on that one. And focus there. You'll see that it's got this little ring around it right here that spins. And you're going to separate that with the needle nose pliers. And I've already had this off once before, so you'll notice that it's a little easier than it will be the first time that you go in there. But just kind of push that spring out a little bit and work your pliers around right there. I'll move my hand so you can see it a little better there. And this isn't the easiest thing to get here, but now make sure you don't lose these two little rings. If you notice there on the edge, this whole little piece here just kind of opened up a little bit. So put that rubber piece in that ring in a safe place, and you'll see in here where there's a little bolt behind this lever here. So you just kind of bend that down a little bit, and that should open up enough room in there for you to be able to slide your screwdriver in there. And just kind of turn that whole unit off of there. Now the top and bottom units are different on this, so make sure you keep the screws set to the right spot. Because you want to put the front one back on the front and the back one back on the back. You have to excuse my dogs, they're playing in the background. And that whole unit comes off of there. Or that whole screw comes off of there. You're going to repeat the same steps for the back one. And again, from there, it's just right back here. Right there. Make sure you keep that rubber piece. Now there's no ring in this one, and you're just going to, you don't have to bend anything down. Just get your screwdriver in there and unscrew that bolt. I'll be back in a second here. Alright, so welcome back there, guys. All I did was repeat the same steps on the other side. So as you can see on this side of the mirror here, I popped that off. It has the exact same setup with the same two bolts in the same spot. The one note that I have for you here is you're going to want to make sure that you keep the washers on the inside of the bolts there. And I'm going to snap a quick picture here, and I'll show you guys exactly what that looks like. Alright, so the picture that you just saw was of the inside washer that goes on the bolt that screws into those two bolts that go on the lower side here, so here and then up here. You want to make sure not to lose those because those do hold the bolts in there. Now what I'm going to try to do now is kind of show you, once those are off there, how easy it is now to just pull this front cover off. And again, you got to have a stomach, but this just pops off. It's held on there by a couple of clips on the inside, and it pops right off. So you don't have any issues with that. So a couple clips, pops right off, and it reveals the windshield cover there. Now if you're looking there, you'll see just slightly up there, right in the center there, there's two Velcro strips. Now what I did was I went to the hardware store, and I just got Velcro strips that were about the same side, and it's like a thread lock, kind of hard plastic part here. And I just cut a couple of squares, because when you order the windshield, the new windshield from Honda does not come with these parts, and I think it's because they expect you to take them off the new one, but I just got some new ones here and here, and just cut some small squares. That matches up with the two squares that you see in the center there, and that's what kind of locks that bottom side in. once you actually see that or get that put on the new windshield, and I suggest doing that before you install it, what you'll notice is there's a couple of different bolts. There's one here, there's one here, there's one over here, and then on the exact same spot over here. My camera's not focusing too well right there, but you'll see once you actually get it off that those are the 4 bolts that are holding on the windshield. So let me back my camera back out a little bit here. And what you're going to do is take those off now. Now this is going to be an Allen head nut here, and it is a number 5. Basically you're going to loosen it up a little bit, and then just take these right on out. And you're going to repeat that step. Now you'll also notice on here that there's a black washer and a plastic washer. You want to make sure you retain both of those because they're going to need to both go back on there. One dampens that vibration, and one keeps it kind of locked down there. So make sure you keep both of those on there. If you can kind of see them there. And you're going to repeat that step for the 4 bolts. And then you just pull the windshield off. Like I said, if you get to the hardware store and you get you get this tape and you just cut some new pieces, basically what you're going to do is then you can interchange between the 2 windshields, because you'll leave the locking the same on the back of that front cover, and then these 2 pieces will remain on the other windshield. So then you can just swap windshields in and out, which is pretty easy. So it's starting to get a little bit cold here, so I'm probably going to leave the tall windshield on there for now. But yeah, that's all you really have to do to get to the windshield and change it. So now we're going to start buttoning things back up here, and I'll kind of walk you backwards through the steps. Alright, so now we're ready to put this back on, or put the front cover back on. I got the bolts back in there for the 4 bolts on the windshield. If you notice up here at the top, you're going to have some little latches. And you'll notice on the bike, you've got a couple of spots where those latches just kind of slide right in. What you're going to do is just put those latches in there, push down, and that's going to line everything up for you. Push down on the center to make sure you get a good connection with those 2 Velcro pieces there, and that's all you have to do to put the front back on. So now your front's installed again, and that's all you really have to do. Next we'll go through putting the bolts back on. Alright, so I just did the exact same thing on the other side. What you're going to kind of see me do here is I'm going to put this side back together so you can kind of see. Now all I've done is put that shield back on, and what you're going to do is just put this back one in. I always like to kind of back it out a little bit so I make sure it's straight and I'm not getting rid of or kind of double threading it there. But you're going to tighten that one down. See it kind of spin there. Now again, make sure that you don't forget the black washer that goes on the inside of that unit. Feel it kind of tighten up there. Now if you remember correctly, one of these are going to be bent in, so I kind of bend it back in a little bit so that it's there. It came that way, so I figured it's best to put it back that way. Now what you're going to see me do is move this in closer here. Make sure I get focus. Alright, sorry about the camera trouble there. I'm going to put this little ring back on. And basically I just wrap it around two sides there. Take my finger and pull up on it and stretch that just a little bit on the two loop sides there. And that pops back on there, and then you'll see that be able to spin. Then what I do is take that little rubber piece and do the exact same thing. Kind of run it back on there. Then when it's done, it should look like that. Alright, and the last step to putting these back on is the mirror cover. And as I was saying before, it's not for the faint of heart, because you're going to feel like you're breaking stuff here, but basically what you want to do is kind of slide the bottom back in as close as possible, and then kind of just slide it back over so that you get the whole mirror covered up there. You're going to hear it kind of click on the bottom and then push in on the top there. And then you'll have one more kind of down here that you want to push in, and you'll feel that click. Once you feel that click, then you'll know that it's back in. And again, that final spot for that click is right down in here. So you'll feel that click, and then you've got your windshield installed. Really, with the video here, it probably took me about 25 minutes, and that's with shooting the video and stopping and pausing and making sure I've got lighting and stuff like that. So really, it's not something you need to go to a shop for. You don't need to pay somebody else to do it. It really only takes a screwdriver and a pair of needle nose pliers and probably about 10-15 minutes to do it yourself. If you go out and you go through the Honda manual that you pay for, they'll tell you steps that'll take you a half hour to take everything off of there and off the bike. But this is the quick, easy way to change the windshield on a Honda CTX1300. Thanks for watching, guys. Please like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Talk to you later.